Lucky, lucky, lucky me. Uh-uh.
Welcome, everyone. I am Valerie Engel Roberts with Wellness Global, and we are here on the I Am the Brand Business Accelerator interview series, where we're bringing together experts from around the world to bring you exactly what you need to take your business to the next level in 2024. So we brought together holistic resources for mind, body, spirit, and business to help you do that. Today, I want to welcome my new friend, Gresham Harkless. Welcome, Gresham.
Valerie, excited to be here. Thank you so much for everything you're doing.
My pleasure. I'm having a great time and I'm loving getting to know everyone. And that's what I want to do today. I just want to get to know you. So why don't you take a few minutes and tell everyone a little bit about you and who you are?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my name's Gresham Harkless Jr. A lot of people call me Gresh. And I am in the Washington, D.C. area. So I'm about 10 or 15 minutes outside of Washington, D.C. And I've pretty much have grown up here since I can remember. I was a military brat that didn't move around too much, but been here since I was probably about 5 years old or so. But I went to Howard University for my undergrad, Georgetown for my master's, and literally just kind of bounced around a bunch of different jobs, after I graduated, trying to figure out who I was, what I wanted to be when I grew up and all those things, questions I still kind of sometimes ask myself. But I end up settling, or maybe it's a better way to say it, found me is entrepreneurship has kind of been something that's been really, prevalent in my life consistently. It's something that I didn't really know what it was, didn't really even know, and still struggle with knowing even how to spell it. But I think one of the things that really stuck with me is like I had certain moments, I had quote unquote, I call them entrepreneurial tendencies throughout my life. And it was those things that made me realize that I wanted to do that, but I didn't really know exactly how to do that. Um, so fast forward a lot of years, I ended up starting what was a digital marketing business, and I have that digital marketing business for the last 10 years. But I think the thing that really helped me to kind of understand a little bit more about entrepreneurship and business and what that is and what that looks like is like a lot of the blogs. I did a lot of blog interviews, a lot of podcast interviews myself. And it was really being around that environment that really opened me up to, first of all, it being a reality. And second, which might be the most important thing of exactly how to do that. So that's why I love everything you're putting together, because as much as it is great to know about the things, it's also really phenomenal to be able to be in a community and say, hey, I don't know all the things, and that's okay because you're not supposed to know all the things, but I do know who I can ask, who I can tap on, who I can listen to, and that's just going to help me get further and probably help that person get further as well. So that's just a little bit more about me.
That's awesome. And yeah, exactly. I love that you brought up the collaborative aspect because for me, like that's the most fun part of business is being able to collaborate. And there was like that aha moment for me when I realized like, oh, like I don't have to do everything myself. I can actually outsource, delegate, or whatever to other people who love doing certain aspects because there's certain things I don't love doing that still need to get done. And it's like, oh, it's okay to partner with experts and let them take that load off my plate. It doesn't mean I'm lesser of an entrepreneur. Actually, it means I'm smarter at that, right? For delegating.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so funny you said that. I remember listening to, I think I was talking with a coach or something, and they said that a lot of times when we go on vacations or we're able to step away from a business, while we can kind of sometimes feel guilty and feel like, we're not doing everything, it's actually a really big sign of having a healthy business. And I think probably even being a healthy person, because once you start to understand who you are, your superpowers, you start to realize you don't fight all the crimes, you don't do all the things, you try to collaborate with people so you can have the super friends and you can, take on the world, not because you're doing everything, but because you know who you are and you're able to find the people that can do the things that you may not be as strong with or don't really like to do.
Right, for sure. My background is education, and I started out teaching, then went into coaching and administration and all that stuff. But I can remember in my very early days, one of the strong things that stood out in my mind was my instructors would say, "You'll know you're a good teacher when you can walk away from your classroom and or take a vacation and your room runs itself. That's when
Mm.
you know you've made it." And it's so much like that in business when you know that you have figured out like systems, marketing, collaboration, teamwork, and you don't just crash and burn if you want to walk away for a week or two. It's still going, you know?
Yeah, it's a powerful place to be.
It is. It's a wonderful place. Um, you know, and you talked a little bit about that. You have all the education, you have all the letters behind your name and the degrees and things like that, and you still weren't necessarily like locked in on like I'm going to be an entrepreneur. When how did you know? When did that like creative spark? Because I think that's what it is for an entrepreneur. It's like it's not enough for me just to go do what you want me to do. I need to like do some of the things that are in my heart to do and follow my creative ones. When did you kind of know that that was what was for you?
Yeah, I think that's a really great question. It's always like difficult to know exactly when, but I know when entered into undergrad, I feel like everything happened too fast before I knew I was graduating, and I didn't go far, but I feel like I still wasn't home. And we were talking a little bit before about getting away from the nest. So getting away from the nest was definitely a transition, but I came into undergrad and I came in as an undecided major because I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do, who I wanted to be, just all those things, and the heaviness of trying to make a decision on your major to decide what were you going to do for the rest of your life like really weighed on me. And I know there's a lot more difficult decisions that you have to make on a daily basis now, but then that's what I really felt. But for me, I actually went back to like who and what I did when I was a kid. So I mentioned a little bit about being like a military brat and not moving around a tremendous amount. But one of the pivotal moments I remember in my life is my dad was in the military. So he was in the Air Force, and he got restationed when I was 10 years old. So he went to an entirely different country, and I honestly boohooed, cried like a baby because that was my partner in crime. That was my basketball buddy, just all the things. And when that happened, it of course changed our lives a lot. And we couldn't and didn't have like all these things that we have instantly at our fingertips of being able to FaceTime, Zoom, Skype, all those things. So at that time, we used to send emails to my dad and just let him know what was going on in the family. But I also had this idea of starting a family newspaper. In that family newspaper, I started to collect a lot of the stories that were going on in our family. So everything from a squirrel that got into my grandma's house, to a wedding that was planned but didn't necessarily happen. I left that as a cliffhanger, of course, but I did and collected like all these stories, and we used to send that in a care package to go over to my dad, and we put honey buns and all his favorite sweets and all those things. But when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, who I was, frankly, I went back to that story. Now, don't get me wrong, I did other things like I sold potato chips on the playground and got my parents to go to MJ Designs and get beads so I can make necklaces and sell those and did all those things, but I felt like that story was a little bit more unique than the rest. I didn't know a lot of people that had family newspapers that they did for 2 years, and let alone my mom kept them all as well. So I was able to kind of go through and was like, where did I come up with this? And of course, if my mom's listening to this, she gets all the credit. I'm supposed to give her all the credit, but in reality, I felt like that was a little bit more of me hearing who I was. So, fast forward a lot of years, I decided to make decisions a little bit more in line with what I felt like was my calling, the thing that I should be doing. Not that I decided it, but frankly, I felt like it decided me. It was chosen for me, and I started to make decisions based off of that. So, I definitely feel like I'm a lot more aware of who I am, and I'm constantly like always trying to understand more and more and more about what that entrepreneurship looks like. But I always put that through a filter of like, what would 10-year-old Gresh journalism media company magnet that's creating the family newspaper do? And that's a lot of like how I filter everything through.
Super cool. That's a great story. I love it. And kudos to your moms for like cheering you on, supporting you, and giving you all the tools that you needed to do that. Because it's I think when we're doing work that resonates with our soul and our vibes with our life, and it's just in alignment with who we are as a person, it just feels so good. And like that's the sweet spot of life. Like not only do I love what I'm doing, doesn't mean it's not hard sometimes or stressful or all of that, but when I'm doing what I love and I'm having fun doing it and I'm being fully myself, like that just it's like, that's what I'm here for. So
Yeah.
it sounds like that's the path you're on. And that's what we want to do for so many people, especially in the holistic entrepreneurship realm, is, give them the tools and the belief. Let them have that belief to hang on to that, you know what? Yeah, you can have this life that you dream of. You can do what it is that's in your heart, that you're passionate about, that you love. There's so many people out here to support you. and here's your toolbox. Like, here's how to get started. Here are the people who are going to help you on your way. So that's what we're doing in I Am the Brand. But tell us more about, your business, what you're doing now, who you help, and how you do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I kind of have two things that, keep me busy. So I have Blue 16 Media. We provide a lot of website design support, SEO services for CEOs, entrepreneurs, and business owners, really creating that foundational aspect to make sure that you are able to get your name out there, you're able to talk about the things that you do. But a lot of, I think, what is, setting us apart is my marketing philosophy. I always say is everybody's in the media business, whether they know it or not. You are a media company. And so our media company is CB Nation. And to kind of, to give you a little bit more insight, I love that you said that so many times that we think that we need things externally to be great. And don't get me wrong, we can always improve and we can take steps forward. But even these holistic entrepreneurs, like you often are looking externally to say, I need X, Y, and Z, and A, B, and C. And don't get me wrong, that can help amplify you. But don't forget about the things that you have. So for me and for us, a lot of what we kind of talk about and recommend to clients and preach is really around understanding that you can build that media company. And the media company we look at is a lot maybe broader than sometimes people give credit to. So we have things like blogs, podcasts, video content. We have social media platforms, all these things that are at our fingertips that give us the opportunity to be able to connect with our ideal clients. But you just have to be and want to be a lot more strategic about it, because as much as we want to do all the things and be everywhere, it's really challenging and it's also very expensive to be able to do that. And I think there's even a saying that if everybody is your client, then nobody is your client. So you want to try to hone in as much as possible to do that. So what we really do is we help people to build their media companies. CB Nation is our media company. So we have a daily podcast that have done over 1,600 episodes, blog posts, video content, all to help CEOs, entrepreneurs, and business owners to succeed. And that's a lot of what we kind of recommend the clients, maybe not that much to an extreme, but really to understand that you have this media, these opportunities that are literally at your fingertips to be able to help change and impact the lives of the people you want to serve the most. So how can you strategically do that? And that's where we try to help people navigate that question and answers.
Amazing. And so how can people find out more? Of course, if you guys are in the accelerator, you're going to be able to find Gresham's guide and find how to connect with him inside there. But for those of you who are just tuning in and seeing this maybe on YouTube, how can they find you and learn more about what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, the best place, if you are in this group, I definitely would love to see you there. I think it'll be phenomenal. Just myself and so many other phenomenal people that are doing awesome things. But you can, of course, go over to my site, iamgresh.com. I have lots of different resources as well there. I also say a link to get back to the accelerator as well. So really trying to make sure that you get to learn from myself, but so many other phenomenal people. But that's where I have links to kind of everything that I've been working on. But really, helping you to kind of hone in on what can help you to make the impact that you were really called to do.
Perfect. That's awesome. So yeah, so we are live now in the accelerator. It actually, the doors opened on April 1st. The experts came in. One of the actually little secret behind the scenes, the experts started coming in March and kind of introducing ourselves, getting to know each other, having coffee chats, really setting the stage for what this group was going to become. And that just exploded my heart, because that's exactly what I wanted to happen. You can do all the work, create everything, set the intention, model it, but everyone else has to kind of grab hold and do their part, and they did. And so this group is one of the most powerful groups I've been a part of to date in 6 years of business, and I'm super excited about what's coming, because I've seen the connection and collaboration among the experts. And so I know as the members come in and we embrace them into the group, it's just going to continue to get better and better. So we're live. We've been live for a couple of days. We're just getting started, and we're just going through to June 30th. And the idea is that you have 90 days to come in, get to know Gresh and all of the others inside, really kind of get a feel for them, like get to know them a little deeper, and what their specialties are, how they can help you in your business, how you could co-create, how you could collaborate, how you can jump on one another's podcasts, or what services and expertise is available to you inside there. So it's open now. Gresh has his own promo code. It's his last name, Harkless, which will be in the description, so you can just cut and paste it. But when you go to iamthebrand.info and you use that promo code, you can come in for just $111 for 90 days. Amazing bargain to come in there. Amazing content. But what are you excited about, Gresham? What are you looking forward to sharing? And I know you're enjoying getting to know the other experts in there already, but what else are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I think that one of the beautiful things about getting the opportunity to collaborate is you get, of course, to have those ideas. You get to learn from each other, which I think is really beautiful. But I think so many times we can get locked in on the things that we know. And when you see people doing their, I always say if you run your own race, you can't lose. But when you start to see people running their race and you start to say that looks really creative, it starts to, I think, help to amplify who you are. Not necessarily you copy them, but you get the opportunity to see those creative juices going. And you're like, that's really cool. Maybe I can create something that's different or unique or some aspect of that. And I think that's really where it gets really, it goes to an entirely different level, is to be able to kind of see those things and of course be able to collaborate in so many different things. But I think what's the phrase is, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And I think when you start to see yourself win, but you also get to see other people to win, that's when it's just like a phenomenal environment. So I love everything you're doing, and I think everybody will have a phenomenal time there.
Thank you so much. Yeah, you said so many keywords there that like ring my bell, right? So like
Mhm.
that, I feel like you have done the groundwork to contribute to this for sure. But like our generations here, this group of people, doing business online in the world right now, we're really creating a powerful shift toward collaboration, win-win scenarios, empowerment, inspiration. And just like you said, it's not about, oh, you're doing this and it's working, so I'm going to copy that, because that doesn't work. But it's like,
Mhm.
you're doing this and it's working, so I'm inspired to now do what I is in my heart to do. And now I'm motivated, empowered, and inspired to do that. So that's what it's all about. Like finding those people who want to help you light that fire and take you to the next level. And I promise, when you find the community that you vibe with and you're willing to learn from, put your pride aside, bring a little humility to the table, be like, I really am not good at that, or I don't know that, or I'd rather delegate that, whatever it might be. That's when you're really going to elevate and accelerate your business. I love everything you said there. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Well, we are open for business in the I Am Brand Business Accelerator. If you are in there, pop over there now, jump in and introduce yourself if you haven't already. If you haven't joined yet, go ahead and do that today. IamTheBrand.info. It's $111. More than worth the investment. You're going to get so much more return back on that than you're putting in financially. And we promise that we're going to deliver the motivation and the inspiration. So jump on in there and join us. And Gresh, I want to give you the last word here before we wrap it up. Any last thoughts or words that you want to share?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's an incredible opportunity. So I love and I appreciate you again, being able to provide that. But one of the things that I always kind of keep in mind that, and I told myself, especially in the beginning days, and I still tell myself to this day is, don't tell me the sky is the limit when there's footprints on the moon. And it's one of my favorite quotes because I think so many times we don't realize what's possible until we start taking those steps. And we also don't realize that when we take those steps, we don't have to take them by ourselves. So, being able to kind of see like the possibilities are infinite and what you can create. And if you just take those steps, maybe not be comfortable and take those steps, then that's only going to give you the opportunity to make an impact and do what you were ultimately called and created to do. So don't allow the noise to affect you in such a way where you don't take that step. Just could take that step, do it scared. We all have done it scared. We still are probably scared in some ways, but just remember to keep taking steps and continue to try to go forward. And at the end of the day, I look forward to seeing you there.
Amazing. I couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you so much, Gresh. You have a wonderful day. And everyone watching, come on into the Accelerator and join us and hear more of these great stories and tips from Gresh and the other experts. And we will see you on the inside. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Lucky, lucky, lucky me.